KSH.200B as he denies e-citizen looting claims. Now, the government now says no money was lost in the e-citizen platform, explaining that accounting systems after the contractual agreements with the system vendors sealed all loopholes for corruption in the platform. Speaking when he appeared before the National Assembly's Public Accounts Committee, Treasury Principal Secretary Dr. Chris Kipto also said the government fully owned the platform and had all the access passwords. Here are the full details to the story.
I want to assure Kenyans from 2023 up to onwards, there is no money that has been lost, to my knowledge. But we are subject to audit. I wish also we had the chance to discuss this audit report with the auditor, because there are things here that we also feel we could have provided. This is the disadvantage of a special audit. You can see for many years, almost 10 years, there was no contractual obligation on the vendor. So we have tried to regularize things. It is true that there was a delay in implementing the revised fees as per the Gazette notice due to system challenges. The e-citizen platform is owned by the government of Kenya as guided by the handover agreement. The passwords and administrative rights are managed by the Directorate of Citizen Services under the Ministry of Interior and National Administration.
If we are going to agree to adjournment and get more time to study the response, then we don't need to open a discussion.
Now the government unveils a 200 billion medical equipment upgrade plan. The government has rolled out a 200 billion shillings plan that will see the installation of medical equipment in select health facilities in 47 counties across the country. Under the 7-year plan, which replaces MES, the government will only pay for services delivered. While flagging off the equipment, President Ruto also put rogue health workers and facilities on notice, warning that they risk prosecution and loss of licenses for defrauding SHA. Here are the full details to the story.
This project is a 7-year strategic initiative aimed at upgrading and modernizing medical equipment at both national and county healthcare facilities. It will ensure that hospitals across Kenya are equipped with cutting-edge diagnostics and treatment technologies.
And we are not only upgrading the healthcare infrastructure, but we are transforming how medical equipment is procured, is utilized, and is managed across our country.
Now it is the responsibility of the manufacturer and the vendor to make sure that the equipment is installed, the equipment is working, and we only pay for the service. I also applaud the 45 counties that have already signed the Intergovernmental Participatory Agreement. There are facilities that we have no option but to shut down because they are a theater of theft. There are health professionals that we will not only cancel their licenses, but we will prosecute them for what they are doing.
Away from that now to Gachagua as he threatens to expose President Ruto to the United States. Now, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua wants the president to address governance issues raised against his government, including human rights abuses highlighted by the U.S. government. Now, Gachagua, who is on a tour of the United States, is accusing the president of misrepresenting issues raised by U.S. lawmakers by attributing their actions to increasing trade between Kenya and China. Gachagua says the William Ruto-led Kenya Kwanza administration has to, among other issues, respond to questions on associations with designated terror groups. Here are the full details to the story.
Your decision to suspend vetting of foreigners before they are given registration in Kenya is a threat to world security. And not just the Americans are concerned, Kenyans are concerned too. And this you must answer. You cannot endanger the security of the world because of your business interest. The Americans also want to know why, against the Kenya Constitution, you have become the worst violator of human rights in Kenya. Why are you abducting young children? Don't hide behind China. The issues you need to confront are well known to you.
And away from that now to Mudavadi denies Kenya under siege amid U.S. move to review non-NATO ally status. Now, Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has maintained that the country is not under siege despite a motion in America's Senate pushing for a review and possible revocation of Kenya's recently acquired major non-NATO ally status. Now, the U.S. Senate motion cites concerns ranging from Kenya's expanding engagement with other superpowers to alleged extremist linkage and Beijing's deepening economic foothold. Mudavadi said there is a concerted effort to try and create the impression that Kenya is under siege or under attack. No, we are not. Whether or not under siege, Kenya finds itself navigating a delicate web of global and regional diplomacy. On one hand, there's Washington, a strategic ally, and on the other, simmering tensions closer home with Tanzania. At the heart of the matter is a sweeping review motion tabled by U.S. Senate Ranking Member James Risch. Now, the proposal seeks to subject Kenya's non-NATO ally status designation to review, raising flags over Nairobi's deepening ties with China, Russia, and Iran, as well as allegations of collaboration with extremist elements and fears that American military and intelligence support could be misused. Here are the full details to the story.
Under siege, we are not under attack. We are just doing our job. It is not the government of the United States that has raised an issue. It's not the executive. It is a motion coming from a member of Senate. When all is said and done, Kenya is a sovereign state. So Kenya will have its friends. Principle of sovereignty must be upheld and respected by all nations. If diplomacy fails, I'll come and declare that the diplomatic channel has failed, and therefore let's use a different method.
The procedures to operationalize that has taken inadvertently too long to conclude. We are yet to conclude the procedure for meeting sanctions to offenders.
Well, from that now to angry teachers confront Prime CS Mudavadi over 29 Kenyan shilling salary increment, and there is outrage among teachers over what they describe as an insulting and meager salary increment in the newly signed collective bargaining agreement between teachers unions said and the Teacher Service Commission. Now, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi was on Thursday confronted head-on by a teacher during a function in Malava, Kakamega County, who demanded straight answers from the government. The teacher not only challenged the CS over salary and medical cover, but also questioned the place and value of teachers in a society that constantly weighs them down with expectations but gives so little in return. Here are the full details to the story.
All cover was taken away in the name of LN Minute, and the share that I'm deducted every month. Why can't government consolidate all that and come up with a scheme for teachers so that we also enjoy what we enjoy? Are you politicians having a more important life than me, a classroom teacher? Bwana PCS, why am I paying housing levy and I'm still paying rent? And I have a loan with Mwalimu National Sacco. They deduct around 30,000 from my payslip. PCS, I earn 3,000 shillings per month, and I have to smile and look like I'm a healthy teacher. I am not. We are the teachers who got 29 shillings increment in the just concluded salary. And we are suffering because of the monster we call CPG. CPG's career progression guidelines.
We are consulting with Teacher Service Commission and the other agencies of government, and we are going to create a comprehensive cover for teachers under the universal health care so that you don't have to be paying twice for services that you are not getting.
Issues of promotion, there must be a proper methodology, something that you can justify. We want that implemented quickly between the Ministry of Education, Teacher Service Commission, so that teachers can benefit rightfully with their promotion.
Now, these are the stories that are making headlines in the dailies, and we started off with the Standard and e-Citizen billions trail is a headlining story in the Standard this morning. Now, 9.4 billion was moved from the e-Citizen in an intricate manner and involving a shadowy web. Now, a damning audit report has exposed how the money may have been siphoned off through illegal payments, unaccounted for convenience fees, and questionable withdrawals. Now, the revelations which Parliament is now probing point to a system plagued by opacity, poor oversight, and possible collusion. As lawmakers call for the platform's termination and a full-scale investigation, the scandal has reignited debate over the dangers of unchecked designation without transparency. That is a story that you'll find on pages 4, 5, and 6 of the Standard this morning. Now, they have also drawn up what might have been the way that this money moved from one place to the other. Now, there is Lexo 7 Limited, Goodwin, and these are some of they have also drawn in some shareholders in these companies. So there is Lexo 7 Limited, Goodwin Wandungu, there is Gold Rock Capital Limited, there is Sydney Ngunji Washira, James Kiarie Gashui, and Abdallah Twahir. And there is Pesaflow Limited, there is Charles Wambani Sewe, Ivid Araka Sibi, Larry Ochieng Agoro, and Frank Lawrence Ochieng Weah. There is Olive Tree Media Limited, Charles Wambani Sewe, James Kabiru Kihia, and there is Webmasters Africa Limited, Lexo 7 Limited, David K. Muigwa, Thomas Isaac Juma, Robert Obel, Charles Karuri, Kennedy Odwori Okech, Josh Samuel Gomba, Sydney Ngunyi Washira, James Kiarie Gashui, Abdallah Twahir, Derek Ogare Onyango, and James Ayugi Otieno. Those are some of the names that where this money left to, and whereas the shareholders of Lexco 7 appear as directors of Webmaster, the company owns the largest stake in Webmasters Africa, and 6.3 billion illegally collected, not an unapproved collection account, and that is an account that is owned by Pesaflow Limited. As well was there is a company here which is Olive Tree Media Limited, was contracted as part of a consortium together with Webmaster and Pesaflow. Now, Electronic is Citizen Solutions Limited, and that is a total of 549 million amount received, yet it is not party to the support contract ownership unknown. And these are the damning reports by the Auditor General Nasi Gathungu, and that is the only story on the front page of the Daily Standard, and they are giving it prominence. You can grab yourself a copy to get to read more about that story. Away from that, now to governors reject e-Citizen system for county funds. and standoff even before the dust settles on the storm over the e-citizen system, which our auditors say is losing billions of shillings and its ownership is questionable. The government plans to roll out a similar one-stop shop payment platform for counties. This has kicked up a fresh controversy, with some governors rejecting the proposal as another assault on devolution and a plot by tenderpreneurs to bag a lucrative deal. This is a story that you found on pages 4 and 5 of The Nation this morning. And the picture of the match that was played yesterday between Angola and Kenya is in The Nation this morning. 2024 CHAN 10-man Harambee Stars draw with Angola. Grab yourself a copy of The Nation to get to read about that story. Among other stories, immigration, Kenyan losers fight to block Canada from deporting her family. A Canadian judge has approved the deportation of a Kenyan preacher and her 2 young daughters after her asylum claim was rejected. Miss Rosalinda Wanyeki fled to Canada in 2020, citing prosecution. All right, they should... that story you found on page 3 of the Daily Nation this morning. And in education, teachers warn state of a medical scheme. The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET, has vowed its members will go on strike if the healthcare plan run by Minet is withdrawn and they are transferred to the public service scheme operated by the Social Health Authority. That is on page 10 of The Nation. Inside, Ruto Raila road to 2027 pre-poll coalition pact. Now, a plan by President William Ruto's and Mr. Odinga's parties to convene joint parliamentary group meetings and track implementation of their cooperation agreement is being viewed as a laying ground laying the ground for a 2027 pre-election coalition. That is on page 7 of the Daily Nation this morning. And The Voice is also available in The Nation. The final testimony. What is the testimony about? Grab yourself a copy of The Nation to get to read about that story and those stories in the dailies in their entirety.